Nathaniel Nebana, who needs life-saving treatment after being diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia last November.
Well, Nathaniel's family have been given until Wednesday to raise £200,000 to pay for his treatment, which the NHS is unable to provide as the family are not British nationals.
Well, the story has touched the hearts of many, including the likes of Simon Cowell and David Williams, who have pledged to donate, and their fundraising page has now raised over £50,000.
Well, Nathaniel and his mum and dad are able to join us now from their home, and Dr. Sarah is here with us in the studio. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here this morning. And hi, good morning, guys. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
So just explain how you came to be here in the UK, because it was last November that Nathaniel was here, and he was coming over for an operation, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was coming. Good morning, first of all, for this opportunity. He was coming to fix his prosthetic eye because we lost it to a very tough tumor that we couldn't control back home in Nigeria. We had a lot of diagnoses, but when he lost the eye, he became better, and we decided to come fix the eye. And unfortunately, when we arrived, after a few days, he started bleeding from the nose and had a very high fever. And we took him we called the ambulance to pick him up, and then he was taken to Mayday, and it was diagnosed that he now has leukemic blast in his blood and bone marrow.
So you, as you say, you brought him over for something completely unrelated. This was a tumour in his eye. His eye was removed in Nigeria, prosthetic eye here, which is where he became ill. And then suddenly you find out that he's been diagnosed with this acute myeloid leukemia, which is particularly aggressive. And because of your immigration status, he doesn't qualify for free treatment, which is when you started the fundraising.
Yes, please.
And
here in the UK.
It's been incredible. How have you felt the responses? So it's at £50,000 a day. This is very expensive treatment. You're trying to raise a lot of money for this, and I know that the doctors at Great Ormond Street are doing this for free. They're not getting paid themselves, so that's not a huge amount of money of what you need to raise. So how much are you trying to raise now?
Well, we're trying to raise. We have about £50,000 already raised. So we need about another £150,000 because Great Ormond Street Hospital, to their magnanimity, they, waived off a lot of fees, and also the great British people, for their generosity and support. They have helped us so far in, tackling the first treatment, and this is just the final one, so as to give him back his life.
Absolutely. And originally you raised, I think it was £80,000, and that was time was of the essence there, because you needed to have the chemo, which was so important. As we know with cancer, the sooner that you can get the treatment, the better, really. And so this next wave is for the stem cell transplant that he needs. And you've got a ticking clock on this, really, as well. You've been told by this Wednesday, by the 12th, that you need to raise the £200,000. And like you said, you've already got the £50,000, but you've got a little way to go to get that. But this is so important that it's done sooner rather than later.
It's very, very important, because having achieved turning his situation around, the doctors have advised that we cannot afford to wait. Let him go ahead and have the needed transplant. Because if we do not do that, all the work we have done and funds we have raised, it's all going to come to waste. And sadly, we do not want to know the outcome of not having this life-saving transplant.
Yes.
We already have the stem cell donor ready. They are using an umbilical cord. So all we need to pay for is just the medication and the aftercare in Great Ormond.
And so, as we said, you've already had an amazing amount of support. And Nathaniel, how do you feel about the fact that so many people have helped you?
I feel happy.
Makes you happy.
Yeah,
I bet it does. Well, there is so much support and love for you out there, and I just wonder, like, you've seen the hospital, I think, gave you a book, did they, Nathaniel? They gave you a book to help you understand the process and what you'd be going through, is that right?
Yes.
And did that help, having something like that?
Yeah, I read it.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Well done. I bet you
It's
did.
good to understand, isn't it? I think that's half the thing, when you know what it is that you're going through.
Well, it's a GoFundMe page, and this is so obviously that's if you want to help. We know we also have occasionally some extremely well-heeled celebs who watch the show, who like to help, sometimes very quietly as well. So we've got our fingers crossed that that GoFundMe page will
Wednesday,
be perhaps
guys.
a little
Wednesday
bit bigger
is the day.
by the end of the show today. We send all our love. I'm hoping that this really does have a happy ending. And Sarah's here now. She's going to explain what is acute myeloid leukemia.
Well, leukemia is a form of blood cancer, and with acute myeloid leukemia, it's actually quite rare. So, and often occurs in those that are over the age of 75. In the UK, we have about 3,100 cases in a year, but in children, that goes down to only 70 a year. And the main form of treatment for it is usually chemotherapy. And it can be very intensive. Often children need to stay in hospital for up to 6 months. During that time, they, are having to have supportive treatment, nutritional treatment, nursing, antibiotics, all of that throughout that. Now, for children who either relapse or have a particularly high-risk type of disease, they may also need stem cell transplant. And that essentially works by allowing you to give higher doses of chemotherapy to really get on top of it, but also it helps by getting rid of any of the remaining leukemic cells in the body, and so it really is necessary.
And so what Ebby was saying there is that you need to have the stem cell treatment done quickly, because otherwise all of the chemo he's had already sort of goes to waste, really.
It can do. In some cases, absolutely. It can mean that there are some remaining leukemic cells in the body, which can then proliferate, so come back again and relapse again. And so that's why he needs this treatment. We know that most studies show that those who have stem cell transplantation have a longer chance of long-term survival.
And so, as we've said, this is Wednesday when they have to raise this money by.
This is really important.
Yeah, and
Really.
and speed is of the essence here.
Absolutely, speed in any cancer, speed really is, but specifically in children's types of blood cancers, it can relapse very quickly. So it's really important.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Well, fingers crossed for all of you. We have very generous people who watch the show, and so I'm sure that we'll all, between us, we'll get you there.
We'll send you so much love as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, the great British people. Thank you, Simon Cowell. Thank you, the people. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, ITV, for helping us. We are so grateful. Thank you, our Instagram, Facebook friends. Thank you so much for the love.
So much for the love. We appreciate
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
You have to say it.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, bye-bye then.
Gorgeous
Thank you,
family.
bye-bye.
Oh, bless them.
All right, still to come. What's got Britain talking this Monday morning? Matthew Wright.